just ordinary, hardworking people. There's nothing fancy or sophisticated about us, but we care for our own. We also care for others.
I'd like to see the country once again be the way it used to be. You know, we would be still the greatest country in the world.
We're back. It is 40 days since we were in Wilmington, Ohio, and I promised the town of Wilmington that I wouldn't just be on and gone. I would follow up. And if there's something positive to say, we'll say the positive. If it's negative, we'll say the negative. But I know what I've seen so far, and it's only going to get better. And it is starting to affect towns and people all across the nation who have decided to take things into their own hands, but in a positive way. Alan, you were the first person I think I met from Wilmington, Ohio, and you have the soup kitchen there. And we talked a little bit about what you have seen, but you have seen people come just drop off work, drive across the country, work in the soup kitchen, and then hand you an envelope.
By the hundreds.
By the hundreds of,
yes.
Hundreds of people
yes.
have done that.
Yes.
Why? What do you think they're getting out of it?
I think they are seeing several things. Unity. They're seeing a city that's pulling together, it's not giving up, and they're seeing faith in God.
You know, I have to tell you, if you're in a town that, Detroit, I'm telling you, people, correct me if I'm wrong, if especially you in Wilmington, well, anybody here, people are looking for that unity. They're looking for that feeling. They're looking for, can't we just work together and just tell each other the truth and be good to each other? I think towns all over the country, if they start having that attitude and going, we're going to be different, I think you will see businesses and people move in. We talked that night, I think that I was there, that there was a business that just watched and saw the people. And they're moving to town, starting a new business, and I don't remember how many jobs they're creating, but you know, it went to work with the town immediately and saying, we want to create jobs because people are good there. Todd, you've seen it firsthand. You are a guy who lost your business in a fire, right? Yes. You weren't in Wilmington. Somebody in Wilmington, we talked to you, you said, somebody in Wilmington said, use my place. What happened?
It was a series of events, but basically ended up, this gentleman did what just comes naturally to him. It's just the way he does business.
You shook hands, right? It wasn't a really contract.
He let me move in on nothing but a handshake.
Amy, were you a little freaked out?
No, I felt peace.
Okay. And so now, since then, when I last spoke to you 40 days ago, you hadn't moved in yet. Now you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And what's life like? You moved to Wilmington, or you just commute to Wilmington?
I commute to Wilmington.
Okay.
Our business is there.
All right. And what have you experienced? What's happened in 40 days?
Our case is a little bit different, I think, than everyone else because...
Here comes the bad one. They suck. The people are insane. It's the Stepford wives.
No, the people are great. It's our circumstances different. We came out of a fire. We're trying to rebuild.
Right.
So our focus has mainly been on rebuilding, and we're about 90% of the way there. It seems that, I don't know, our story's different than everyone else, but it's a lot like your story. I almost lost my family 6 years ago. We almost went through a divorce, and because of that experience, I was able to allow God into my life.
Okay, so you are sitting here, and a fire and destroying your business could destroy your life. It would be the last blow. Were you worried about that, Amy?
Amazingly not, as much as you would think after the fire trucks left and it was just, you know, just us standing there. We knew it would be okay.
All right, how much time do I have? Okay, when we come back, I want to show you what I think the power source is here. And there are hundreds of communities all across the country that are now exploring this. Hundreds of phone calls have come in, not to me, but to one little shop in Main Street in Wilmington. Back in a second. Every network, except for this one, every network has for the last 2 weeks been saying, what is going on in our country? People are going to become violent, and what's the answer to that? How do we stop it? And you got to stop political rhetoric. No, look, Thomas Jefferson called John Adams a hermaphrodite. Adams responded by saying, if you elect Jefferson, your daughters will be raped. Jefferson then responded and said, if you elect Adams, your town will be burned to the ground. I mean, don't talk to me about political rhetoric. That's a little intense. They didn't silence political rhetoric. What they did is they knew and trusted people could be in control of themselves because they knew something that we have dismissed and pushed out of the public square. And if you don't like it, that's totally cool. You don't want to do it, that's totally cool. It's not the answer for you, again, totally cool. But it is something that gives people a lot of strength and puts their feet on the right path. And I found it when I went to Wilmington. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, when I finally came to Robin's little storefront in Wilmington, Ohio. How are you, Robin?
Doing well. How are you, my friend?
Good. You and I shared a story in the back of your place after I had been there for a while. Do you remember it?
I do.
You want to tell
Absolutely.
it?
Sure. For years now, the Lord has been saying that the eyes of the nation would be drawn to the brightness of his light in Wilmington.
That's what you believed.
That's what I believed.
Right. And you told me that story after, I can't remember exactly what I wrote on the board, but I think I wrote on the board, before you told me this story, that the eyes of the nation would see, or a nation would see Wilmington. Right. Really see it for what was really happening there. You have something that I've talked to so many listeners and viewers about, that you have a place where all the congregations have come together. There's like, what, 11 congregations? 11 congregations that are all coming together, and they all just, you know, hey, how you doing, Reverend Pete? Pretty good, Bill. And you keep it open 24 hours a day, and it's to pray for anybody in town, anything that's going on, and people can just walk in and put their name or a friend's name on the board, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
How many people have called you from all across the country?
Hundreds. Emails, letters.
And what are they asking you?
How can I do this in my city?
And your answer is?
I don't know. Trust God.
It's
truly.
How many people said, is this your husband?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Good.
How many people have told you you were crazy? Because it wasn't free, obviously, when you started doing this. How many people said, that's crazy? Did you ever feel you were crazy for doing it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You feel crazy now?
No.
No.
The answer is not easy. It is just simple. Back in just a minute.
It's nice to have somebody that puts you on the right path of where you need to look. So I thank him for that and what he's doing to wake other Americans up.
Thanks for inspiring us. Thanks for giving us hope. Because there is hope out there now.